There is somebody at your job right now who is worse at it than you are, and who is doing better than you are. You know exactly who I mean. The one who talks in meetings and does nothing after them. The one who was hired after you and promoted before you. The one who took the credit for the thing you fixed at 11 at night while everybody else was asleep. And the quiet part is this. Being good at it was never going to be enough on its own. Nobody is coming to notice. You could do this for another 10 years and end up standing exactly where you are standing now. 23 centuries ago, there was a man in your position, and he had it worse. His own classmates called him the donkey. He was the slowest man in the room, and every one of them knew it. He hauled water in the dark every single night for 19 years so that he could afford to sit in the lecture in the morning. Every clever man who laughed at him is a name nobody remembers. He ended up running the place. In the next 10 minutes, I am going to give you the 4 things he understood that they did not. Take one thing out of this video and take this. Put it in the comments now so it stays in your head. I carry the weight. Before philosophy, he was a fighter, a boxer, in the ring, taking hits for money. And at some point that stopped working, the way it stops working for everybody. So he walked into Athens with 4 drachmae in his hand, enough to eat for about a week. He was starting again at something he had never done, and he was not a young man. He went first to Cleanthes the cynic. Then he found Zeno, who was teaching on a painted porch and building something that did not have a name yet. Then he hit the wall. Athens was full of young men whose fathers paid for them to sit and think all day. Cleanthes had 4 drachmae and no father paying for anything. So he made an arrangement, and the whole rest of his life comes out of that one arrangement. He took a job hauling water. A gardener needed a well emptied and carried, and Cleanthes did it at night, every night while the city slept. In the morning he washed, walked to the porch, and sat down in the lecture. Then he went back and did it again. He picked up a name for it that almost nobody has heard. They called him Cleanthes. Roughly, the man who draws from the well. That was not a compliment. And he was so poor that he could not buy anything to write on, so he took his notes on broken pottery and on the shoulder blades of oxen. The founding notes of one of the most influential schools of thought in human history were scratched onto butcher's waste by a man who had been carrying water since midnight. His classmates noticed all of it. They just did not notice the thing they should have. They called him the ass, the donkey. Partly it was the work. Mostly it was that he was slow, and he genuinely was slower than they were. He took longer to follow an argument. He asked things twice. In a room full of quick young Athenians, he was visibly the one working hardest just to keep up. Now here is what he said back, and it is the reason we are still saying his name. He said he was glad of it. Because the donkey is the only animal in that yard strong enough to carry what Zeno puts on its back. The clever ones could not have carried it. He could. Read that again. He did not argue that he was quick. He agreed he was slow, and then he threw away their conclusion about what slow meant. Not everybody let it go. Somebody decided a man living like that had to be up to something. They summoned him to the Areopagus. That is the High Council of Athens, sitting on a rock below the Acropolis, and their question was this. You own no land, you have no trade, you have no income anybody can see, and no family money. You sit in a school all day, so how exactly are you eating? That is not a question, that is an accusation. The unspoken half is that he must be stealing. His defense was not a speech. He did not stand up and argue for his own character. He brought people. He brought the gardener whose water he carried. He brought the woman whose grain he ground. And they stood up in front of the Council of Athens and said, "This man works for me, all night, every night." The court did not just clear him. They were so struck by it that they voted him 10 minae, serious money, life-changing money for a man sleeping rough. And then Zeno did something that sounds insane. Zeno would not let him take it. Not out of cruelty. Zeno understood exactly what the water was doing for Cleanthes, and he was not going to let a windfall take it off him. So nothing changed. Cleanthes carried water at night for 19 years. 19. Being the slow one, watching quicker men arrive, shine for a season, and leave. Then Zeno died, and out of everybody on that porch, out of every quick young Athenian who had ever called him the donkey, the school went to Cleanthes. He was about 69 years old. He ran it for the next 32 years. He was still running it in his 90s. Here are the 4 things he had that they did not. Rule 1. The work nobody sees is not the lesser work. It is usually the actual work. Nobody watched him haul water. There is no audience at 2 in the morning at a gardener's well. And that is exactly the part of his life that bought everything else, because it bought him the only thing he actually needed, which was the ability to still be in that room in year 19. Most people quietly believe effort only counts when somebody is watching it. So they pour themselves into the visible parts, the meeting, the update, the thing that gets seen, and they starve the part that would have actually made them good. He did the opposite for 19 years. That is why he was still standing when the clever ones were gone. Build it where nobody is watching. Rule 2. When somebody puts a label on you, take the fact and throw away the verdict. They said he was slow. He agreed. What he would not accept was their idea of what slow meant about him. They meant, he is limited. He heard, I am the one who can carry the heavy thing. Same fact, different conclusion, and the conclusion was his to make, not theirs. This is not about telling yourself flattering lies. He never once claimed to be quick. He looked straight at the true part, kept it, and tore off the judgment somebody had stapled to it. Somebody has done this to you. The description might even be accurate. The sentence they attached to it was never theirs to pass. Take the fact, refuse the verdict. Rule 3. When you are accused of not doing the work, you will not talk your way out of it. Bring witnesses. He did not stand in front of the Areopagus and make the case for his own character. He would have lost. Character arguments are what everybody makes, which is exactly why nobody believes them. He brought the gardener. So here is the practical version. Keep evidence of what you actually do, not to boast with, not for a performance review. For the day somebody asks you the question they asked him, and your own word is not going to carry it on its own. The people you work for are better witnesses than anything you could ever say about yourself. Bring the gardener. Rule 4, and this one is his, in his own words. He said, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Picture what he is actually describing. There is a cart. You are roped to the back of it. It is going where it is going. You can walk behind it on your own legs, or you can sit down and be dragged along the road on your back. The destination does not change, only the skin does. He is not telling you to enjoy the cart. He carried water for 19 years, and he never once pretended that was pleasant. He is telling you that your resistance is not a lever. It is not changing where this goes. It is just extra damage on the way there. Walk. Do not be dragged. Some of you are pushing back. I can hear it. So let us do it out loud. The first one. This is just telling me to accept being underpaid and shut up. No. He was not accepting it. He was buying something with it, and he knew exactly what. There is a difference between paying a price and being robbed. If your 19 years is buying you nothing, that is not Cleanthes. That is a bad job, and you should leave it. The second one. 19 years. I do not have 19 years. Neither did he. Nobody told him it would be 19. He did not sign up for 19 years. He signed up for tonight, and then he did tonight again. The third one, and this is the real one. He got lucky. Zeno picked him. Zeno picked the one who was still there. He lived to about 99. At the very end, he had a swollen gum, and a doctor told him to stop eating for 2 days to let it settle. He did it. The gum healed, and the doctor told him he could eat again. Cleanthes said no. He said he had already come part of the way along that road, and he was not going to turn around and walk it twice. Then he refused food until he died. He was the slowest man in the room. He carried water in the dark for 19 years, while quicker men laughed at him, and he ended up carrying the whole thing. They called him the donkey. He was the one who could take the weight. So here is what you do with this, starting tonight. For the next 7 days, 1 hour a day, do the work nobody is going to see. Not the visible hour, not the one that gets reported, the one that makes you harder to replace in a year. 1 hour, 7 days. No exceptions and no audience. At the end of it, write down what you did. That is your gardener. You are going to be doing something for the next 10 years either way. That part is already decided. The only thing still open is whether you spend it being the one who does the work or the one who can carry what nobody else in the room can lift. Put it in the comments so you have said it out loud. I carry the weight.